All right, Algebra 2, Copper Canyon, welcome back. So I am going to show you how to type trig functions into Desmos and also how to adjust the settings so that you guys can see them a little bit better. Okay, it's actually very helpful, especially if you are having trouble graphing and getting a concept of how to shift your graphs or how to draw the amplitudes, that kind of thing. So let's go ahead and start off by typing in a trig function. So right here, let's go ahead and type in -2. -2. Now I want to type cosine next. Now you can actually type cosine with your keyboard, but over here under the functions button, you actually have a cosine function. So right here in trig, we're in the trig unit, so this is going to be your favorite button for Desmos. So come over here to where it says cosine, and voila, just pops up cosine. Now, everything we're doing right now has just x inside the trig function. Main thing here is make sure you close off that x. It should just say x in there, and yes, you do have to close off the parentheses there. The next thing I'm going to add is I'm going to add a -3. So this might be something typical that you would see on like your one of your Edgenuity questions or something like that. All right, so here we go. I typed in negative cosine x minus -2 cosine x minus 3, and it gave me a graph. And you know, this might be enough to help you out. You can see that it is definitely a wave, a trig function. And you might even be able to say, hey, look, I can tell by the y-axis here that it has started at a low. Okay, but some things that confuse students is they don't see any of the radian measures here. They just see numbers. So you can change that here on Desmos. So come over here to the little graph settings. It looks like a little wrench icon. So if you click on that, notice it has down here at the bottom radians and degrees. You could actually switch back and forth pretty easily. But we're going to go ahead and change our x-axis. We're not used to seeing like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're used to seeing the radian measures now. So let's go ahead and change this to go from 0 to 2 pi. So let's see, 0, let's cancel that out. Let's put 0 here. Let's tab over and let's put it to 2 pi. So let's hit 2. And then you do have that pi button over here on your little screen keyboard. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to adjust the step. So that lets me see from 0 to 2 pi. But the next thing I want it to go in increments of pi over 2. So let's type pi over 2. This is basically 90 degrees. So here's the pi button. Let's hit the division sign. As soon as I hit the division sign, it's waiting for me to put the denominator. So let's do pi over 2. Remember, that's 90 degrees. And so voila, you can already see as soon as I typed that, it adjusted it. So let's go ahead and click out now and take a look at our graph. We can zoom in or zoom out. But the main thing here is now you have these radian measures, and that makes it really nice in terms of just kind of knowing where you're starting. Because the way I taught it, I kept teaching you guys, okay, here's your low, here's your center, here's your high, here's your center, here's your low, right? So you can kind of see that period right there. Low, center, high, center, low. And the nice thing is that you have these radian measures here now, so it makes it a little bit more something that you're used to, right? And so now that you have that setting in there, you can kind of type in anything you want. Let's go ahead and type in a sine function now. So let's go ahead and do 1/2. Do 1 divided by 2, right? Now remember, when you do fractions in front of your trig functions, you always have to tap out. Make sure that you come to the end before you type anything else. Otherwise, it's going to start going in the wrong spots. Now let's type a sine function this time. Let's see, sine. So there it is. We'll go over, we'll hit an X. Make sure you close it off with another parenthesis. You don't want to add anything in there just yet. And then we'll go ahead and add a 3. Let's do +3 here. All right, and so there is a sine function in the blue one here, right? Same thing. Remember, cosine starts at a low, it did. Sine, however, is going to start at a center. So center, it still has its pattern. Center, high, center, low, and then back to center. And so it's nice because you have this 2 pi reference to let you know, hey, this should be where my trig function ends, and it's there. And so it's really nice. You could even move these around. You know, you can follow along your trig functions if you wanted to and see where the points go from one point to another, right? So anyways, I hope that helped. This is something that you can definitely use if you are struggling with your with graphing your trig functions and identifying key parts. Obviously, I wouldn't leave these all in here at once. You know, when you're looking at a graph, you should just have one graph at a time so you can go off of that. Alrighty? Good luck, Algebra 2. I hope that helps, and we'll see you on the next lesson.